Ahoy there, YouTube. Let's do a little bit of maintenance on the 1990 today. So, this is legitimately my first time underneath this car. I've never looked underneath it, but I figured I'll start off with doing the trans fluid, the oil change, and then the differential fluid, and a little bit of an inspection. And that's not pretty. That's really not bad, or that's really not good. Let's see what I'll look over here a little more. There is a bit of clunking going on in the rear end. Maybe that bushing is part of it. Let's see now. How does everything else look? These bushings are pretty well beat up. Muffler's kind of hanging on here by something. Looks like that hanger popped off. I wonder if that's why the exhaust is rattling. I can hang that up later. Let's see how these torque rod. Oh, these torque rod bushings are junk. Maybe we'll change those out because the rear end definitely has some sway to it. Yeah. That side doesn't look actually as bad. That side looks okay. This side, though. So maybe we'll change some bushings out. Maybe we won't. I don't really know. But floor is gone over here. Wow, that's really bad. Yeah, welcome to rust. Welcome to the salt life. Hanger's missing for the exhaust manifold. It's always good. Have that dangling. I'm running over something with the creeper. Looks like the oil is at least not leaking like crazy. It's actually fairly dry underneath here. I got in contact with the previous owner and he estimated it to be about 275,000 miles. It's got a man filter on it, which looks really old. Engine mounts are junk. Front end looks okay. Calipers look great. Sarcastic. The strut tower isn't rusted like my 83 was. Maybe I'll snip a picture in there to show you what the 83 looked like, or you can go watch that video. How's the brakes look? Well, they look like brakes, just good enough pads in it. Rotors seem okay. So we ain't gonna worry about any of that. We might do motor mounts on it at some point in time. That'll be a project for later. And then I also have a little bit of a low alternator. Pretty sure this alternator's dying, or that wire's not connected properly. We'll dig into that a little bit later, maybe. But for now, let's go ahead and get this oil drained out and we'll see how it looks. See if we pick up any fun metal or anything exciting like that. Yeah, the oil doesn't look terrible. There's a magnet on the end of here. Ooh, there's definitely a lot of fuzz on the end of that magnet. Yuck, that's not good, but we'll wipe that magnet off and we'll see next oil change around if we find anything fun. Oh, great. I just made an oily mess. That sucks. First time I've ever actually seen this, but the engine mounts are so wore out that the oil filter is actually getting stuck on the motor mounts to get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and have to pull those out at some point in time. For now, I'm gonna dash a little MMO in it. Just a splash and a tickle. Put in full quarts. And that'll take care of the engine. Don't know when the last time his oil was changed, but probably been a hot minute or two, so. That'll be enough to get her on the ground and we can finish her off here. A little bit more left. Alrighty, now time to get the M47 out. Or well, I should say the fluid out of the M47. One thing you're going to want to do, and this applies to any manual transmission, is make sure you can get your fill plug out before you can get your drain plug out. Because if you can't get the fill plug out and you drain the fluid, well, that's a whole lot of fun you're going to have to deal with at that point in time. So, thankfully these are external plugs. They're not the like 3/8 ratchet male plugs that you got to put in, so, or female plugs. So this should be fairly simple, but... Shit. Oh boy, that was in there. Alrighty. So we got the fill plug loose. Let's get this drain plug loose. Actually, let's put this fill plug all the way out. Let's see how the fluid even looks in here, and if there's enough, or if it's low, or what's going on. Oh, that's good when you pull your fill plug out of your tranny and something falls in. Good. Well, let's pull this out and see what happens. Fingers crossed we don't get any bad news. Oh my goodness! Oh. Oh! Pro tip, you do not need to make your drain plugs torque to 1,000 foot-pounds. Holy crap. Oof. Oh, that was disgusting. There's a lot of shavings in on this thing too. But that's what it's there for, so. Alrighty. While that was draining, I cleaned off both the magnets, got everything looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and snug this up and then we're gonna start filling her up. Alrighty, well I already kind of started pumping her up a little bit. I think the green book says it takes 2.5 quarts. So we'll go ahead and sauce her all the way up till she's full. This might take a little while, so bear with me. my favorite. Alrighty. There, after a disaster of spillage, we are done. Close your eyes, brake clean time. There. Now we'll know if anything's leaking, because we'll see fresh drippage and not old leftover drippage from all my spilling. Because boy did I spill, and a lot. Well, that's the damage report. Look at that. Promise it's not my first oil change. I know you might think it, judging by there's oil all the way up here, on the tire, and all over back here. That was a disaster. Normally not this bad, but that's why I have a mop here in my garage so I can clean up my crap. Oh, let's get this out of here. Well, I'm tired of laying underneath the car for a few minutes, so I'm going to do some easy stuff that I can do, like this loose gear shift knob. I actually just opened up my box of parts here from IAPD. You can kind of see my receipt right here. I have an odometer drive gear set, so I can fix the odometer in here. I got a coolant temp sensor, because the temp sensor, or the temp gauge, doesn't move at all. And then I got the gear shift knob, and then I got 2 standard trans pedal pads. And then this is just part of that gear set right here. And digging through my box, I got coolant temp sensor, brake pedal pad, well, clutch or brake, I guess they're universal. The second one of those. I got the shift knob. I got the gear sets. Here's the 2 gears. I also got a bonus brake pedal pad for an automatic. So I really don't need this because I don't actually do own an automatic, but well, maybe I'll check out that today and see how that one looks. If it looks good, maybe I'll throw this in here. Otherwise, if any of you guys need one of these things, I guess shoot me an email. It's a freebie if you pay for shipping, because I don't really need it. I guess thank you, IPD, though. Anyway, let's go ahead and knock this thing out. Come out. Here we go. Yeah, that thing's very well blown out, as you can see. So let's go ahead and get this one out. Which, the one thing I don't like about the IPD ones is they're a lot smaller. I was thinking about ordering one from VP Auto, but I was already putting an order in from this because they didn't have the odometer gear set stuff at VP's website, or at least they wouldn't have it in stock. So these are just a lot smaller, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is what it is. Oh, I actually might have to change this thing out too. Let me do a little bit of digging on this and figure out how to get this thing off. See if that gives us some hands. Let me try to get this thing to pop right off. I shouldn't be hitting things with my hands because my hands aren't hammers. That you fell down on me. So oh, here we go. Finally, we are in business. This is gonna slide in like here. Oh, that was not supposed to fall down. Go back in your box. Ah, much better. I'll get the odometer little shift pattern put on it here in a second. But actually, what I should do before this sits down all the way and is stuck for good, this thing's having problems getting into first gear. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this boot off and see if we can't change anything with the lockout. Okay, so I got the reverse or the shift boot out here now. So I'm going to do a little bit of shifting, and you can kind of see it's hitting this detemp plate right here, and it's not really letting me go into first. If I shove it over here into fifth, and I can kind of sometimes get it back into first, but I think that might be because this whole transmission is loose, because this transmission mount is shot along with both engine mounts. Sorry. I can get it to go into second gear. It's a little bit difficult, but I think the reason for that is because this is on a little bit of an angle. It might be difficult to see, but this detemp plate is on a bit of an angle, so I think because it's farther down, it's letting me get into second gear, but not into first gear. So what we're going to do is there's two, what seemingly looks like 8mm bolts underneath. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and try to get these two bolts loosened up. They look like they're just 8mm, and they seem to be. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh good, they popped out. I'm surprised. Pop that one loose. Let me pop this one loose over here. I don't want to adjust this too much because then I'll be popping in and out of reverse gear on accident trying to find first, but it's going to be a lot nicer to make it into first. So that is seemingly fairly loose. Maybe not quite enough yet. Alrighty, so that should be, that is reverse right there. So let me get it out of reverse and into first gear. So that is first gear right there. So let me go ahead and tighten this up to right about that spot right there. We'll see if I have any better luck. Okay. Third, fourth, fifth. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Reverse, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. First, second, reverse. I think we're good. You can see how much this thing shifts. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up very well or not. Look at how much this thing shifts, this whole thing. Definitely going to need to change the mounts out on this thing, but that'll be a project for a little bit of a later date. For now, we're going to go ahead and snug both these bolts up, make sure they're not going to come out on us because we don't want to accidentally find reverse. Put this boot back together, put the new knob on, put the little shift pattern on, and we will be done with this. And this thing's going to shift like $1,000,000, I have a feeling. With new fluid and a new shift knob that's not flopping in my hands and the ability to get into first, I think we're going to be pretty good. So, let's keep moving forward. Alrighty, well, shifter boot is back in, shift knob is on, nice and tight, and first gear is accessible. Now I think next up on the list I'm going to take care of is this coolant. Since the gauge does not want to work at all right now, I'm going to start off with changing the sensor out and hope that actually takes care of it. So we will see. Alrighty, well that looks like that's the temperature sensor there on the driver's side of the block. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pop it on out of here, get it changed out. There's the wire. Fingers crossed I have the right size for this. I do, seemingly. Oh boy, it's in there. Ow, that hurt my hand, but we got her loose. Man, I just slammed my thumb. Oh, that hurt really bad. Alrighty. There we go. So we're losing a little bit of coolant. Alrighty. Old sensors right here. Focus. New sensors right here. They're actually just a skosh different sizes, so I need to swap out for a 16mm socket. There, I'm going to take just a tiny little bit of Teflon sealant or thread sealant and dabble it on the threads. It's obviously a pipe thread, so it should be okay, but still going to be a good idea to add just a little bit of something to give it some protection. So we're just going to kind of do this right there. Should be enough. I'm going to see if I can't fit my fingers back in there and start it by hand so I make sure the threads are started properly. Now it feels like we're threaded in. So we'll go ahead and fish this socket back in here. Let me turn the ratchet back to on so I don't actually loosen it up. There we go. That is on. Reconnect the wire. And so now, and theoretically, the coolant temperature gauge should work. Alrighty, a little bit of an update time. I don't know if you can hear me very well, but I'm waiting for the coolant temperature to see if it works right now. Waiting for the temperature gauge to rise up. I got fresh oil in it, so I'm going to go ahead and let that cycle around. I'll check it after I shut it off and add a little bit more should it need it. But one thing that's happened to me a few times with this car is the battery has died on me. It's left me stranded a few times, so I have to carry my jumper back everywhere, which is just one of those little ones. And being cold outside means that battery's going to die pretty quickly in that thing. So this thing needs engine mounts. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't figure out what the alternator voltage output is right now. Well, you can see that, but 12.2, that's not good. So, blower motor back off. 12.6, still not very good. 12.7, 12.6, 12.7. 12.8, 12.9, 13, so it's slowly climbing up. Well, we've been running now for probably 15 minutes. We got really hot air coming out of the vents right now, and we still got nothing there, which tells me the compensator board in the gauge cluster is probably bad. So we'll do a fix for that whenever I do the odometer gear and put a tack in here and get rid of this annoying clock here on the left. So, kind of a bummer, but hey, it was worth the shot. The sensor was only a few dollars, and hey, live and learn. I should have probably dug a little bit deeper and tested a few other things, but for a few dollars, I was willing to give it a shot. So anyway, next up, we're going to move on to, I don't really know what. We'll keep digging forward. Alrighty, well, time to knock out some rear end fluid. I did come underneath here ahead of time and try to get the right size fasteners I was going to need. Or, sorry, wrenches and sockets that I was going to need so I didn't look dumb. And unfortunately, I had to kind of jam my socket on there because it's pretty rusted. It looks like this thing's probably never been changed, judging by the undercoating that's still kind of present around this plug. But we will see what happens, if it will actually come out or not. Get laying on the ground here. Oh boy, look at how much that rear end moves. Oh gosh. So that's good, right? Yep, we're going to do some trailing arm bushings and some torque rod bushings soon. My goodness. No wonder this rear end shakes so bad. Wow. Actually never seen that. I don't know how well the camera picks that up, but this whole thing shakes furiously. So, let me knock you guys over. pull this thing out. Dirt in my ear. I love that. Oh, goodness. Favorite feeling on earth. Oh, gosh. Please get out. Nice. Knotted it right off. Shit. Well, it's not the end. We can siphon it out. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that doesn't look great. So, it's full though. The fluid is not terribly dark. So I'm going to weld the nut to it and pull it off later. So we're going to do that in another video, unfortunately. Sorry guys. I didn't mean to fail you. But I'm failing you. Yikes. Well, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for me for today. Got a little bit of stuff done, not as much as I was hoping. Found a bunch more stuff that's wrong that I'm going to have to fix, which ain't surprising. So I'm going to go ahead and put an order in for some trailing arm bushings, torque rod bushings. I'll probably order up a new differential drain plug, and I may just get that kit from IPD to fix the compensator board, but I think I might just solder a wire in place on it. I did a little bit of research on it off camera, so might just go ahead and do it the cheap route. And when I got the cluster out, then I'll probably fix the odometer gears, and then a couple of little odds and ends. So, hey, it's a start. Things are getting moving forward on here, and we'll see what else is next. I think I'll get that stuff ordered, and I might hang up some trim on this thing yet on the side, make it look halfway decent, get the rear bumper off the parts car. It's supposed to be fairly warm this week, so maybe I'll pull that off this week and get working on it for another project, or get it pulled off and get it ready for another time. But I think for now I'm going to go ahead and pull the 92 in, do the front brakes on that thing, get those knocked out, since rotors are a little bit warped and they're really rusty. And I think I'm going to order a pizza, because pizza sounds really good right now. Let me know what you guys like in the word spot for pizza. And depending on what you like, we might not be friends. But depending on what you like, we might be friends. So, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I don't know what else to say. So, have a great night, and I'll catch you later. Adios.